Wow. Actually, I'll be completely honest, despite this Mobius costume, there's very little wow about this show. I mean, it visually, yeah, and it throws a lot of high concepts at you, and it tries to get you excited for the multiverse, but for me, the biggest flaw with this show is simply the fact that A, they're trying to sell the 2012 version of Loki as the protagonist, when in our heads we know exactly what he's just been up to, and that is to take over the world, take over New York. You know, this is just coming off, literally just coming off the battle for New York. And yet we're meant to buy him as the protagonist. We're meant to buy that in one video session, in one sort of interview, he's had all the character development he's had over the last decade of movies since the first Avengers. And I just don't buy it. The second reason, however, and this is really the major problem, is this show demands that you buy into the Sylvie-Loki romance. And I don't. I find it very uncomfortable, and I don't like it. And therefore the show, for the majority of the time, completely lost me. I enjoyed little Easter eggs like the Thanos copter being in the background of the sort of desolate area. I liked Owen Wilson. He was very charming, very charismatic, and he definitely carried the show. There was a lot of good performances. If it had just stuck to the idea of exploring apocalypses as a buddy cop thing with Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson, that would have been a far better show. But very quickly, it stopped being the buddy cop thing that it was kind of marketed as, and started being this self-cessed romance story, and having some really silly high concept. You know, the Kang and Conqueror thing, I got what they were trying to do. They were trying to do a portrayal that was vastly different from Thanos as the potential new big bad of the multiverse, but it just, the fact that the last episode is entirely exposition is really bad, and it's really uncreative in its approach to the exposition. So this show is vastly mediocre, and I really wanted it to be better, and I really wanted to enjoy the buddy cop stuff. Going around, apocalypses, going back in time, all that good stuff. I thought we were going to have Loki mucking around more, like the DB Cooper scene was marketed as like that was going to be like kind of what the show was. But no, it was a throwaway gag. It was a throwaway flashback. Why couldn't the entire show have been what it was marketed as? Doing a silly time travel japes, and then you can develop Loki as a character throughout that, rather than trying to do that all in the first episode so that we buy him as a sympathetic protagonist going forward. That being said, it was kind of fun to see Alligator Loki and Richard E. Grant Loki in the classic costume, but that really, again, not enough time was spent on that. It just kept going back to the things I didn't like. The underdeveloped villains, the self-cessed romance, and the bad exposition.